Trill, cause this is where it's at. High stepping through the front, got me lounging in the back, celebrating with the team, tell the DJ run it back. I've been getting money, ho, grinding with my kinfolk, riding in the Benzo, sitting on Lorenzo's.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Commissioner's Recap, hosted by me, Rae Trilogy. This is actually season 2, episode 8. You already know what it is, episode 8 of the Commissioner's Recap in season 2. This is going by really, really fast. And before we get into this episode and before I introduce you to my guests, let's have a word from my sponsor. Yeah. Once again, like I already told y'all, man, this is the Commissioner's Recap, hosted by me, Rae Trilogy. Just got to tell y'all real quick, or I wouldn't be Trill. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, you know I dropped the song Savage. So tomorrow, I'm going to be dropping the video. Tomorrow is the world premiere video of Savage. That's me featuring my son, you know, so it's a father and son duel, and we will be rocking out. Tomorrow is the world premiere video of the song Savage, you know. So if you know you've been under a rock or something, you haven't heard the song Savage, you can go and download it everywhere on all streaming services. What's going on? I got the boxing man in the building with me. How's everything going, my brother? How's everything?
I'm good. Trill. A lot going on in the boxing world right now, which I'm sure we'll dive into. But I'm good, my brother.
Yeah. Everybody, I know y'all see my bro, yours truly, Trey, in the comment section. That's right. The video for Savage will be out tomorrow. That's definitely will be out tomorrow. You see the Q code right there, and you heard the intro, Trill Fiki. You can go and get that on all streaming services. That's the Q code. But like we was talking about Savage, that's the Q code for Savage right there as well. You know, jumping right into it, man. We done had a crazy week. Crazy week of boxing. There's a lot been going on. Right off the rip, I'm gonna play something for you, and I want to get your reaction right off of the clip that I play.
He's seconds away. Badly hurt. And Anna got the 12th round stoppage. An hour or so again. Can Conor Ben just put the finishing touches on what's been absolutely superb tonight? Eubank Jr. trying to survive. Here comes Ben.
Emil, go what he needs to do here, Ben.
Eubank Jr. trying to hold on. 20 seconds to go. Unbelievable scenes here in China. Kevin Parker down for the second time. He says he's okay, and the bell looks like it will save Junior. Down twice, it will go the distance. Conor Ben.
First reaction, or do you need to see it again?
Oh man, listen, I'm sure we'll dive into our thoughts of what all transpired, but what a moment for Conor Ben. Regardless of, you know, we'll both have some points on it, but Carl from Last Bell Boxing, he was doing media, and he was ringside, or he likes to tell everybody he was ringside anyway. But he said the atmosphere was insane, and it was actually a very, very pro Conor crowd.
So it was a really pro Conor crowd, you said?
Yeah. He said
I heard it.
Was trying to make out it was 50-50. He said the reaction to Conor versus the reaction to Eubank was insane.
Yeah, that is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce y'all to a gentleman that knows boxing. It's always a pleasure to have on these spaces. It's our brother G Chain.
Yo, salute, fam.
How you doing, my brother? How's everything?
I'm good, man. Sorry, a bit of technical difficulties getting in there, but how you guys doing? All right?
It's all good. We all good over here, man. You know, we was excited to have you on. And me and the Boxer Man always been chopping it up. You know, we talk about you behind your back, about how much respect we got for you, man. So, you know, it's great to have both of you gentlemen on right now. And we was just chopping it up about the events that happened over the weekend. And you know what? It was so nice that I'm going to play it twice just because you're right here. And I want you to let me know what you think of when you see this.
He's seconds away.
Yeah. Mr. Neutral, where you at? This would be unbelievable panel, man. What? They have all of my bros right here, man. That would be crazy. Mr. Neutral, where you at? G, when you see that clip, what's the first thing that pops in your mind?
I'll be honest, guys. I'm you know what I mean? I respect fighters. I like to give them credit, you get me, when they win. I feel a bit bad for both of them, really, because one, you know, fair play to Conor, first of all. You know, he done his thing. You understand? He performed and, you know, he boxed well. But he won't get a credit for this one, guys. I mean, that was a shell. Eubank was an absolute shell of himself in there, you know. I mean, it's very rare in this day and age you see a 12-0 shutout, you know, like in a big fight like that. And, you know, so I feel a bit bad for Conor as well, because he's, you know, he performed well and he done what he had to do, but he's unfortunate that the Eubank that he was fighting was just, like I said, it's a skeleton of what he was in the first fight, you know. So, bit of a shame, but, you know, congratulations to Conor. You know, onwards and upwards, he can move on now. But yeah, it's left a bad taste in the mouth for everyone. I think I'm not really saying anything out of turn there. I think that's pretty much how most people feel, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of diced. Obviously, I was buzzing the night of being, as you know, speaking to you personally. Like the day after, it didn't feel as good. It almost, when you go back and you just get caught up in the moment of the fight and seeing how happy that the Ben family was. But actually, that was a man that was walked to the ring, but there was nothing there. And yeah, fair enough, it goes down as 1-1, but you will never see that again. Junior's done. He's finished. To not even jump the ropes, that tells you something in itself.
Be interesting to see what he does now, boys. What do you reckon? I don't know if he'll give it a go at 168 and see if that makes a difference, or whether he'll just wrap up the thing, man, and just, you know, retire now, bro. But, you know, at 160, he's done, bro. He's finished. You know, that weight cut is just, I mean, it was brutal last time. I think, you know what, last time was Conor Ben was tagging him. He tagged him and buzzed him a few times. Yeah. But because Senior turned up on the night, he was like, you could just see Eubank was like, I am not going down, blood. You know, in those championship rounds, he was just going on pure, my dad has turned up. I am not going to hit the canvas. I'm going to swing until either I pass out or the final bell goes. You know, and I think that's what got him over the line last time.
I said he had an out-body experience. You know, like he was like, I'm not losing this fight no matter what happens. They are. I'm willing to die tonight, and that's what he did to protect the Eubank name. And so, yeah, he's got that respect that he was maybe shot after the Liam first fight, Smith fight. He was maybe shot after that, but then they've rolled him out. And I think a good point you just made there, G, is that I think they will roll him out one more time, and it'll be a run over of somebody that will knock over, because he won't retire with his last fight being an L to a Ben.
All right. We're gonna get to all that. We're gonna get to all that. But you said something, G. You said something, G, and I was like, I'm gonna give you a little pushback on that. You said that this win, right, would not look good, right, later on. Or do you think that boxing fans have proved time and time that this sport is unforgiving and they don't care if you show up, if you sign that contract, regardless of what's going on in camp, or if you had a cut or you was going to do some personal stuff, they don't care. Once you sign up for that fight and you go into the ring, right? It's like no excuses. Do you think?
You can't. You know, Eubank, he took the bag and he signed the same term. So you know, no one can blame anyone. What I'm saying is that as fans and even them as fighters, everyone, like, it was a disappointment, isn't it? Compared to the first fight, that was electrifying, the first fight, you understand? And we were hoping that it would just, you know, round 13 and off we go again, you know, but you could just see Eubank had nothing. You know, for me, the telltale sign when someone's cooked or when someone hasn't done the weight cut right, they don't bend their legs, boys. When a fighter can't bend their legs because there's nothing there, that's when you don't get the dynamism, you don't get the movement, you don't get the spring when you punch. You know, everything. That's why his punches had no pop, no nothing. You know what I mean? He just looked, like I said, a shell of himself, really. And that's the shame for me. It is his fault. I agree with you 100%, Trill. But the shame I think, for the fans, all of us watching, but also for Conor as well. Like, he just beat up a cooked Eubank there, you know. But it's not his fault, man. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. But that's my opinion.
I got a question for you. Will we see Part 3? Talk to me, G.
Keep it rough. Keep it rough. I don't want to see no trilogy to that.
You don't think the boxing man, you was just talking about, you know, they're going to roll him out one more time. Do you think that they can roll him out one more time for a big
even Conor said himself, this is over now. This is done now, you know.
They ain't touching, and you can put as much money on the table as you want. They ain't touching him because the chances are that Conor knocks him clean out the next time, and he ain't going out. He ain't going out like that. So it's done. It's done.
Okay. You know me, man. I look at it like, you know, just sometimes people like to milk the thing until it's dry. Like people will start making excuses and thinking like maybe they need to do it like a catch weight of 164 and then, or talk about, you know, because he's like, you know, I was thinking about, you know, the twins I had, you know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that'll get the machine rolling. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Eddie, he can sell a fight, you know, so maybe not that. But what do you guys think about the possibility at 168, not weight drain, but at 168, Eubank going up against the likes of a Saul Canelo Alvarez? One last hurrah.
For me, he ain't getting that fight, bro.
He ain't getting that fight there?
It's all well and good we can talk about it, but let's be realistic. You know, Canelo ain't gonna fight Eubank after he just got 12-0'd by Conor Benn, bro. You know.
But what if they spin the narrative? Like you was just saying, he was a shell of himself. He has babies on the way. He had family issues on the way. There was a lot of things going on. He wasn't himself. Everybody seen how I did it the first performance, how I won, you know? So y'all know that wasn't me. When I get in here against Canelo, I'm going to show him what it is. Do you think they can sell that to boxing man?
Oh, God. I don't even know if Eddie Hearn can sell that one, bro. Jesus, man. Like, honestly, that
Trill
one is a tough sell, bro, after what we just saw, man. Honestly, man.
Trill had me thinking, then, like, he can sell it. He can. I was like,
black Eddie Hearn out here, bro. Seriously. Let's do it.
No, Canelo's not that. He's not stupid. That's not going to be his fight. I mean, as much as I'm saying it's not going to be his fight, to sell out Wembley for it or something like that for an easy fight, because Canelo don't mind the pushovers, but that I just don't think you're going to see that. He doesn't warrant a Canelo fight based off losing 12-0 to a Conor Benn.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely. Moving right along before, you know, we get into the real reason why I got you gentlemen here. There's been a lot going on in sports right now. I just want to get your thoughts on something right now. People is coming down on my man, and I'm gonna show you who I'm talking. Let me know, am I bugging? I see like everybody going after my man Joseph Parker, everybody trolling him and stuff like that. I feel like, Joseph Parker, man, has had the ups and downs in this boxing game and stuff like that. I feel like, my heart goes out to him, and I hope he gets the help that he deserves. Or he needs, excuse me, not deserves, or the help that he needs if this is, an issue that he really has. But is all the harsh criticism warranted? Talk to me, boxing man.
Well, we don't know enough about the facts, but the bottom line is that it's finding his system on the day of the fight, which he may have a problem, but that's just downright stupid. If there's legitimacy of how it's got in his body, if he's knowingly put it in his body for a lift or whatever, it's absolutely outrageous. So I don't. Again, we sit and talk about, the PED stuff and some fighters get away and move on with their careers. I'd like to find out a little bit more about this for Parker's sake. If he has got an out-and-out problem, then, hopefully he gets the help he wants and he needs. But I just find it outrageous that in a big fight like that's something that's turned up.
Yeah. G, back to you too. Do you think it's warranted that he gets all this criticism? Like, because people is trying to compare this as like it's a PED. You know what I'm saying? Like when fighters got caught with, they're comparing it to like a fighter getting caught with marijuana in their system. If anything, you look at it like this could be harmful for the fighter. Do you think it's warranted that he's being treated as like he took a performance enhancement drug?
Obviously, from a kind of boxing, from a sport point of view, it's not a peg, right? So, I don't think anyone's thinking like it's cheating. But we have to wait for the full facts. I don't want to go all in. But how can you do gear on fight week, bro? How? Like, I don't care. You're a professional athlete, right? Whoever wins this fight is going to fight Usyk next for the undisputed heavyweight championship. How can you do gear on fight week? Do it on Saturday night after the fight, bro. Do you know what I mean? Why would you do it on fight? It's crazy. There is no excuse for me, really. I wouldn't mind if you got caught like outside of camp or it was after the fight, because people let off a bit of steam and sometimes they do this, do that, whatever. Yeah, but not on fight week. What is it on the Monday? Because coach stayed system for 2 days, exactly. So he had to have done it on a Wednesday or Thursday night. What are you doing, bruv? Like on a Wednesday and Thursday before the fight? It's just, come on, let's get real. We can't excuse that kind of behavior, man. That's as much as like, everyone makes mistakes and he'll get his chance to rebound. But this fight, if you win this fight, which he should do, because it's Woodley, he's much more experienced than Woodley. He wins this fight, he's fighting for the undisputed heavyweight title, a dream, basically. Every fighter's dream. And you're there sniffing lines on Wednesday and Thursday before the fight. Come on, guys. We can't, we all have our bit of fun, but we can't say that. We can't, condone and say that's all right. It's not all right. It's not.
Yeah, it's not
all right. I hope he sorts himself out, because I'm nothing personal with him. But from a professional point of view, you cannot be sniffing gear on fight week. There's no excuse for that, for me anyway.
Yeah, I like JP a lot, man. And I felt like he should have already been in there and already had his shot against Usyk. I thought he should have been in there before Daniel Dubois.
You can argue that. I think a lot of people felt that way.
Like he didn't deserve to have to be in there with the Warley. So yeah, definitely my heart goes out to him. I know it's embarrassing. He's going through a lot of embarrassment right now and stuff like that. So yeah, my heart goes out to him. I hope he gets the help that he needs. breaking news. The boxing world has been going crazy. I'm just going to show y'all. Talk to me, the boxing man. When you see this, the first thing that pops in your head when you see this, don't hold nothing back. What are you thinking?
Well, to wake up to it this morning, I thought there was a big accident in my family because I had about 100 text messages of like, "Have you seen this?" And I've been being hammered all day, and I'm widely considered a bit of an AJ fanboy on these spaces. But my first reaction was, "What is he doing? And why would he do this?" And then the day's gone on, more conversations. I've got more of it. The first thing is, I cannot believe it. I just couldn't believe it, to be honest. I thought it was a PR stunt for sure. But I've got my thoughts on it. But I thought it was a PR stunt.
Okay. G, talk to me.
Do you know what? Now that I've found out the terms of it, which is it's 10-ounce gloves. I mean, boy, you've got to hand it to Jake Paul, man. He's putting it on the line here, bro. I mean, I think it's borderline dangerous, man. Honestly, bro. Like he's not conditioned to take punches like that, like what Ngannou took. You understand? And I don't know, man.
That's why it's gone to Florida. Gee, that's why it's gone to Florida, because their commission allows.
Yeah, someone's gonna. But they're playing with me. For me, Brett, they're playing with fire on this one, because that straight right that took Ngannou. Ngannou was knocked out cold. Remember?
Yeah, no.
That straight right. If he hits Jake Paul with that, you don't know. Honestly, man, you don't play boxing, fam. You understand? And I just think they're playing with fire. Now that I've found out they're 10-ounce, before I was bantering about it or stuff like that. But actually, when you think about it, it's just a dangerous sport, man. You know what I mean? And I hope everyone comes out all right. But they're not going to. Anthony Joshua is not going to turn down £70 million, man. That's $93 million for all the US fans. He's not going to turn that down for 6 minutes work. You know what I mean? He's not.
You and I have been talking about it away from here, and dissecting all what they're going to do to what restrictions they're going to have. It's seemingly now there isn't any restrictions on him. But let me tell you this: if the outside conversation, if Joshua ends this with a body shot, there was outside conversations to finish, because they know he's going to knock him out anyway. So finish him with a body shot. Don't jab him to the head, but finish him with a body shot. Because like G said, Ngannou is a trained warrior that takes kicks to the head, and he folded him.
Kudos to Jake Paul. Kudos to Jake Paul for making this fight happen and believing in himself, right? Let's just say that he really does believe in himself. Listen, he's been living his life as a fighter. He's been putting people around him, real fighters, real training boxing teams. He's been living this fighter's lifestyle. And he feels like, he want to test himself, even though it's a huge test, He has more boxing matches than Ngannou had, and if this is, he's willing.
Let's not do that, man.
No, listen.
He's a professional fighter, bro. Hold on. He's a professional fighter.
Listen, Jake has been fighting professional.
Yeah, but it's not.
I get what you're saying, but you got to look at it like this. Like, I get it. The people look at Jake Paul like he's the joke, right? And he's the YouTube guy. And you look at his first couple of fights. Think about his first couple of fights. And think about your favorite fighter's first couple of fights. This young man, I was one of the guys who crapped on him too, right? But then I started looking at it and doing my homework on all my favorite fighters' fighters when they had their first 12 fights and who they was fighting. Jake's guys that he is fighting are actually better, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? People feel like he was making a mockery of the sport and he did this, that, and then the third. But the fact of the matter that if this fight is indeed, because I'm going to tell you on the flip side, like, I think that I'll believe it when I see it. I feel for some odd reason that this is a clout move.
I think calmer heads might prevail, and they might think, hang on a minute, like Jake could get fucking hurt here, boys. I don't want to mess up your.
No, definitely. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that this right now is a clout move, just to see what people are going to say, get people talking, getting the buzz going. Him using AJ's name, and then the fight, something happens. He gets hurt or something, and the fight doesn't take place. So that's what I was going to say. I believe it when I see it. But I've seen a lot of people saluting Jake right now for taking it. And if this fight is true, and if this fight is definitely going to happen, and without no clauses and none of this being script and none of this stuff that we have, you got to tip your hat to him, because at least he's putting it out there, putting it all.
We've all been saying fight a proper fighter, and if this is a proper fight, that's exactly what he's doing. But he is in no way prepared to take on a former two-time unified champion.
We know that.
There's no world where he is ready.
We all know that.
We got
to tip his hat off.
You know what this could be as well? This could be his way, because he's never going to fight a real fighter. He wouldn't fight a British champion, never mind AJ, right? He wouldn't, because he knows he will lose. And it's fair play to him. He's built this platform. He is taking boxing seriously. If he walks in any gym now, he gives people good work in sparring, maybe, whatever. But the bottom line is he might be taking this fight to end himself on this side of the boxing world, because he's finding it harder and harder to match opponents that people are going to take, because at some point he keeps spouting this, I'm doing that. He goes from fighting Tank at 135 to AJ at 245. Like, at the end of the day, he's going to struggle, because the world is at some point going to say to him, fight a proper fighter, and he's running out of that time. So maybe he says, I lived my dream, boys. I took on the former two-time heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, and I dared to be great. Now I'm going to stick to promoting. I don't know. It could be a way out for him.
He said it could be a way out for him. I think we should wait and see, because
let's wait and see. But as much as we take the piss out of him, at the end of the day, if you're walking through those ropes with 10-ounce gloves on, and Andy Joshua is facing you the other side, you have to respect it, bro. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens in the fight, and if it is some sort of exhibition and some sort of fixed thing. But if it's a fight, boy, you have to tip your hat to it, because that is, you can get hurt in there, bro. You understand? So, anyway, there's real fights to talk about, man. They're coming up this weekend.
yeah, and that's why I brought y'all here. It's time to get into it. I need to know what's going on. Wow, there's the real reason why I got y'all here, to talk about this extravagant night.
What a card, guys.
This is an amazing night, the night of champions. We're going to take this step by step, okay? No need to rush it. I'd like to take my time, Bam. Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. I got Bam in this fight. I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't see nothing stopping the Bam train right now. And I feel like him and Ortiz are on the path to being able to take that Canelo torch. Those two guys are on the path to taking that torch. I'm gonna go to you, Boxing Man, on this one first. Who do you got, Jesse Rodriguez or Fernando Martinez?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Bam. I'm a huge fan. He comes to fight every time, and he comes to take people's heads off, but he can do it with class and with skill. And it's a good point you make there. At some point, I know that our boxing world knows about him, but he's on that path now to going wider than that. So the bigger boxing world knows about him, because he is, for me, is a special fighter.
You got G.
You gotta go with Bam. I mean, he's pound for pound superstar, man. Like, he's one of my favorite, probably of the current crop. Probably one of my favorite three fighters to watch, man. Because I love guys who go for KOs and who are brave, but have boxing IQ as well. And the run he had, what's it called? Sonny Edwards, Estrada, Guevara. Like he had a good run. In his last fight, he was a little bit. I think you know what it is with Bam. When I tune in now, I'm just expecting to see like a bad boy knockout. You understand? And he was kind of like he was lumbering a bit in that fight, even though he dominated. Don't get me wrong, but you almost had that sort of like, I wish you had these high expectations of him now. But what a run he's had, and he's an example of what a champion should be, man. For me, people like him and the new way who were fighting regularly, who were taking challenges, unification, strap after strap after strap. That's what champions are, man. And
one of my favorite G chain lines is "Cards are for Christmas."
KOs only, man. Cards are for Christmas.
Cards are for Christmas.
Yeah,
cards are for Christmas, man. Like Agnes said, I've got two judges, K and O. You know what I mean? And that's the way. For me, that's how you win a fight, bro. You know what I mean? You knock that person out, man. Then you can say I beat you. So, but with Puma. You guys know more about the modern fighters than I do, but the one thing I have seen about him is he has got a quite a nice liver shot, boys. That Mickey Ward where you bend his knees and you're punching upwards into that liver, and so that's probably the one punch I'd say Bam has to be careful of, man. From what I've seen, Martinez throws out a lot. So yeah, let's see. Otherwise, I think Bam's winning, man.
The next fight I want to talk about is a title fight, actually. And both gentlemen will be fighting for the vacant title, but it'll be their first time fighting for the title, actually. Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. Swinging it to you. Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. I'm not going to pull no punches. Sam Noakes, he can punch. He is a devastating puncher. He's a good young man with good skills. Shout out to Abdullah Mason. I feel the same way about him. I've been saying Abdullah Mason would be the future. People have been keep playing this clip of him getting dropped, but they don't see how he came through that and was able to stop the guy. I think that this would be a tough fight, tougher than what people think. People are leaning a certain way because they might not be so familiar with Sam's, but I think this is going to be a really tough fight. I think this goes all 12 rounds. I'm going to lean towards Abdullah Mason, but I think this is going to be a real tough fight, and it goes 12 rounds. G, talk to me.
Abdullah Mason, I've been on the hype train from day. There's two prospects. It takes a lot for me to get excited about anyone nowadays, you know what I mean? Any fighter. But the two fighters I've been on from their journey, invested in their journey, is Moses Atalma and Abdullah Mason. I like everything about Abdullah Mason. I like his mannerisms. I like the fact that his dad trains him. It's their family unit. I like the way he carries himself. Mm-hmm. And if he wins on Saturday night, he'll be the youngest champion in boxing. He's only 21. So, I really want him to win. And I think he will. Knows his game. He's got good body punches. That's from what I've seen. Decent jab. Tough guy. But I think Abdullah is open to that hook. That's the thing. He needs to hold a phone, bro. He is open to the hook. I have to say that. But even if he does get tagged and buzzed, I still think he'll come through, and I think he'll win late in the fight, like a late stoppage, man, like mid to late rounds, I'd say. I hear what you're saying about points. Yeah, it could do, but I just think I watched his interview with Noakes, right, and he said he sparred with Shakur, and he said he just couldn't touch him. He said he said it was weird. They were doing 4-minute rounds, so he said that threw him off a little bit. But he said that in that spar, he just could not get anywhere near Shakur. And I just think that sometimes when you deal with fighters who are skilled, of a certain level, while you're strong at the start, your punches have got that pop. You're competitive, but I think from round sort of 6 onwards, the pop will start to fade. I think Abdullah will then take over, and I think he's going to get a mid to late stoppage.
What's going on? What you thinking?
Yeah, it was actually G that definitely. I'm not going to be one of those guys that put me onto Abdullah Mason, and because we've been following each other for a long time now, and I think he's special. I really do. I think he's special. And like G said, he comes from good stock. He's grounded well. It's almost like he'll be, his dad will still be saying, say please and thank you behind him, you know, that type of grounding, like be a good human being and stuff. But what I will say is, yeah, Noakes his game, but he's a young man like him's going to be round all this week. Look at that card. Yeah, I'm glad you just put that up. Look at that. He's going to be around these fighters, these absolute killers. And Abdullah Mason at 21 is going to be inspired to do something special because he wants Turkey talking about him at the end of that night. He wants Turkey talking about him, and that for me is why I'm similar. I think it's anything after 6 is game for me. Any stoppage after 6.
What makes you think it'll go to points, Trill? Why do you think it'll go to?
Because
a reason, or
here's the thing. Both guys, it takes a lot. Like, you know, when there's an undefeated guy, right, who really believes in themselves, it takes a lot, you know, to get them out of there. And I just feel like, you know, the kid Sam, he's not going to want to be embarrassed. You know, he's going to want to give a good account for himself. You know, and I feel like, and this is the first title shot for, like, he's gonna be jittery too, you know, and it's fighting over there inside of a new place, over in a new country, everybody in the time zones and stuff like this. I just think everything's gonna just come back, the lights, everything. It's just, you know, I just think that the kid is tougher than what people think. You know,
people like we respect, like, you know, Stevie, like Mr. Neutral. He's been saying like Noakes is that guy as well. So, you know, people whose opinion kind of respect are saying that Noakes is going to give him a tough fight, man. And like I said, when it comes to these kind of fighters, I don't know as much about them. So, you know, I kind of, you know, I just see what I see. But, you know, people who are like really into it, you know, like yourself, like Stevie, if you're saying, oh, it's going to be a tough fight, it might go points, then maybe I'm not seeing that in you guys.
Yeah, or maybe Abdullah Mason does what we all think he does, you know, and he's special, and he goes in there and takes him out in the first 2 rounds or something like that. We don't know. I just know that this is a tough challenge, and if he does go in there and he does do what you gentlemen say he's going to do, he's going to stop him, then we got to be saying like, yeah, he's definitely special. He's definitely one of those next ones, because I don't think that Sam Noakes is some guy that is a walkover or a pushover. You know what I'm saying? I think that he should get all the credit in the world, you know what I'm saying? If he beats him, you know? So I'm looking forward to that fight as well. But I definitely got Abdullah Mason winning. I did a poll, G. This is going straight to you, G. I did a poll because I interviewed both fathers. I interviewed Bill and I interviewed Brian, you know? And the next fight I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. I did a poll, and everybody said this is the fight that they was most wanted to see out of all 4 fights. This is the fight that they wanted to see. This was it. G, straight to you. Who do you got winning this fight?
It's you know what it is. First of all, put the camera on, bruv. The one thing I want to say, first of all, about this fight is, for me, this is an important fight for US boxing. I can't stress how important it is, because this and T.O. versus Shakur in January, I really personally want those 2 fights to be good fights and all 4 men to perform at their best, because I really think it could be a turning point for US boxing, because for too long there's too many guys who didn't want to fight each other, didn't want to take the risk, and these 2 fights are examples of where, you know, they are willing to put it on the line now. And I really want the fights to go well so that the fans and everyone, the community, the culture enjoys the fights. And what you tend to find in a good fight is both men get credit. You know, if it's a good fight, both men get. It doesn't matter if you lose. You know that cliche: his stock went up even though he lost.
Yeah,
that cliche is dead across the pond. He's dead because no one's taking the risky fights. Whereas these two, this fight in particular, I'm really looking forward to because it's a clash of styles. It's all set up to be a great fight. I don't want to jinx it, man, but it's all set up to be a great fight. You've got a kind of a boxer in kind of Haney, and then you've got, I'm not going to disrespect him and call him a brawler, but you've got a more kind of power pressure fighter in Brian Norman, you know. And so I think that the styles, what's nice about it is we haven't got two defensive fighters. Like Tio and Shakur could potentially be a stinker, man, if they're both just looking to counter, you know what I mean? Whereas this, I think, is good because it's a classic boxing clash of styles, you understand? And salute to both young brothers. I really mean that. And, you know, Devin Haney, a lot of people clown him and his dad and this and that, but he is stepping up, bro, and taking these fights. So respect to him. And for Brian Norman as well, do you know what I mean? Respect to him, man, because, you know, he's trying to beat somebody and make a name for himself. And I respect that a lot. I really do. That's a really important thing in boxing, man. So, yeah, I keep changing my mind about who's going to win. I think Haney's got the experience and the technical quality, but my kind of fighter is Brian Norman, as you guys know. I like ones who go for it, you know what I mean? So, and he really likes his history. He's always interacts with my posts as well. So, you know, on a personal level, I just think he's somebody who's kind of in tune with that. It's a tough one. I need to see the weigh-in. I need to see what's going on. I need to see them looking at each other's eyes, and then this is what the one fight I can't commit on at the moment. I keep changing my mind, but the main thing for me is salute to both of them for taking it and made the best man win. And I'm telling you now, whoever loses, I'm not going to clown them. You understand? I'm not going to be on there.
If you had to pick,
I think experience, you got to go with Haney. You know, the quality and the experience, big time fights, you know, big time events. I think you have to side with Haney, but it depends because he might not have got over those mental scars from the Garcia fight. And then Brian Norman can bang blood, you understand? And if he takes a big punch, you never know. He might go into the, you know, it might send Haney into that sort of place in your head where suddenly you're gun shy, you're down yourself again. You know, boxing is, when you take your first L, every single fight is never the same after you take your first L because you've got that mental tissue, that scar tissue in there that you have to get over. So, you know, in his last fight against Ramirez, he was on a back foot, and I understand that, why he done that, because you just got to get through and get some confidence back. I hope he goes back to boxing behind the jab for this one, because that is his talent, Haney, the jab and boxing behind the jab. So I'm so intrigued, man. I think I probably would side with him, though. But if you ask me for my preference, it is Brian Norman. I like that type of fighter.
Yeah, I'm sure I have respect for feelings, but my heart and head is going with Norman Jr. And you know, Mr. Neutral was in the chat right now. He'll be telling you Brian Norman as well. Yeah, definitely. He is a warrior. He's a young warrior, and I like his mentality and I like his attitude. The boxing man, she just said a lot right there.
Yeah,
like I said, this right here was one of the fights that was the most popular. Everybody wanted to see. Who do you got? Let me know.
Yeah, I think, like G said, this is probably the hardest one to pick and even analyze, because one of the big things is that Haney's going to want to get some respect back. If you think about it, he's going to want to find some. He wants people to start talking about him in a positive light again, because he did go on the back foot in that stinker of a card in Madison Square. New York Times Square. He put on a stinker that night, got the job done. And then obviously time before that was the Garcia loss. So he needs to do something special to get people speaking about him again and to kind of shake that off, because he is a young man that's broke onto the scene. Everybody was having him. He splits fan base on what you like. I personally think there was a time where he had one of the best jabs in boxing, double jab, pop, like just double jab, piecing people up. Didn't always throw anything after the double jab, but he was smart behind the double jab. But what people like Stevie are saying, Mr. Neutral are saying, don't sleep on this guy, Norman Jr. Do not sleep on him. It could be fight of the night. It could be a stinker. I just don't know where it's going. But I tell you what, will give us some box office. The dads will give us some box office this week for sure.
Yeah. This is my thoughts on it. I get it. Devin Haney, his dad, tend to rub people the wrong way. And here we have this breath of fresh air. Humble kid. And then you got his dad, likable character. It's more like the favorite. People start to forget accomplishments and things and what people have been doing for years. And I feel like people are starting to forget about the things that Devin Haney has done. And it gets to that point where you're at the top for so long. And then I know the court thing and the whole Ryan thing rubs certain fans the wrong way. And I feel like a lot of people picking Brian Norman has a lot to do with their disdain for a lot of things Devin Haney has done. And he even gets punished for the things that his father has done. But for me, I think the more skilled fighter is Devin Haney. This young man, we've been watching him. I've been watching him before he even had a professional fight. We've been hearing about this kid. We've been watching him in the gym with the Mayweathers. We've seen him walking out Zab. We've been hearing about that this kid was going to be the next one. When they was having interviews with Floyd and they was talking about Senior, they will always talk about this young man who was coming. So we knew about Devin before he even had his professional fight. I think what happens with a lot of people, man, is like when you see a young man, he gets on top and he does some things that we don't like, eventually people start wanting them to lose, And they see the new guy coming on the scene and he might look and he'll have the look and he talk that talk and stuff like that. But they forget the skill factor of the matter. And to put all that aside, I'm going with the young man, Devin Haney. I feel like even if it's not an exciting fight, and people was harsh on him about the Ramirez fight, but I had to go back and I watched that fight 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Because I love this sport. Other sports is cool. Basketball's cool. I got a wicked jump shot. Football is cool as well. Baseball and all those other soccer, those are cool sports, but it's nothing like boxing. So I went back and I watched that fight. After talking to it with Jonathan Foreman, I went back and I watched that fight. And I didn't see the stinker after when I went back and watched those fights those last 2 times. I seen the guy that did his homework. I seen the guy that looked and seen like, this is what I'm going to do so I don't have to take no punishment. This is what boxing is. People forget what boxing is. I would like everybody.
This is not boxing, Trill. No. Let's
no,
come
listen,
on, man.
I want viewers. I want our viewers to go to the Webster Dictionary right now, and I want you to look up the word boxing.
70 punches, bro, in that fight. Listen, come on, man.
Look up the word boxing. And what does the word boxing says? It says the art of hitting without getting hit. He went in there for the cautious fight and he got the dub. I feel if he goes in here with Brian Norman, he gets touched, he feels a little bit of that power. I made a joke about it. He could run away with the victory. I feel like he can have the same performance that he did against Ramirez against Brian Norman Jr. And I feel like he can box him and outpoint him. So that's why I was picking Devin Haney by points, majority decision, because I think that he can outpoint the young man.
I do too.
And use his aggression against him.
I do too, but I hope for all the points I articulated about earlier, for the sake of, well, one for Haney and just for US boxing, like if it's a big fight, and if you do that, it's just honestly it's going to turn everyone against him even more. And at the end of the day, Trill, yes, boxing is, you talk about hitting, don't get hit, but people want to see violence, bro. It's a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, we admire people for being a fighter, for having for being brave, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
I get that. But we don't talk about. I get that, G, and I'm with you. I get everything you're saying. I'm gonna give you a little pushback on that. But when people say, they talk about victories, right? They talk about Ray Leonard. Ray Leonard beat Hagler, right? And if you talk about younger generations who really don't know, that they're just going to go off of who won the fight, right? And it's all that matters is the win. It
Yeah,
really,
the thing about that fight,
I get what you're saying. He can't afford to have another stinker for fans'
yeah.
sake, right?
Yeah,
For fans' sake.
just because like that fight, like I said earlier, I understand why he fought that way because you know it's your first fight coming back from a loss, a loss. Obviously, you know, I know it got overturned or whatever, but you know what I mean, where he got dropped a few times. I completely understand why he fought that way, and I almost agreed to do that because you have to build your confidence back up. Do you understand? But I'm not gonna make that more than what it is. It was a comeback fight. He got the job done. And now we're going to go back to boxing behind the jab, what he normally does. We don't want to see that again because, Trill, that is the third lowest punches thrown in the history of CompuBox. This is 45 years of boxing history. So no one wants to watch that, bro. Like, no one wants to watch that, you know. Yes, it was a comeback fight. He done the job.
Agree, a win is a win, correct?
A win is a win, but
all right. Now I'm looking at this matter right here. You don't think that people, just like what you said, that you had compassion and you had understanding for him because that was a comeback fight and you understood the reason why he fought the way he fought. You don't think that people will have that same understanding, seeing that this is his first fight coming up at 147, fighting the best guy at 147, who's a strong, dangerous kid? You don't think that people is going to be like, he did it right. He's smart. He boxed smart, instead of going in there and trying to slug with this young man?
I don't, because people were giving him so much stick. I was back defending him last time, but everyone was giving him so much stick saying he was running. But I was like, I understand why he done it. Do you know what I mean? It's a process to recover from. But if all the stick he was getting then, if he does it again now, the thing is, if you start bumping your gums and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you're a bum, you know, I'm levels above you. You can't then go in there and run, bro. Like, you know, this is the fisticuff, rude boy. You understand? It's a fight. You can't be going, oh, you're a bum, and I'm gonna, like, you know, put you on your ass and then suddenly run for 12 rounds. It's not. There's nothing to
do. You know, fair play to Trill going back and doing the research and looking at the way he did the job. Fair, and he's got the W. Fair, but if he wants to be that guy in the highlights and the headlights again, he cannot box like that again. He can put a jabbing masterclass on. That's not violence, but he's got to throw more than 70 punches, and he's going to have to jab him, turn the corner, and make himself look glitzy and glamorous. You know, thinking about the Mayweather comparisons and stuff like that. Mayweather danced around the ring, but let his hands go as well.
I mean, you know, every fight wasn't. It took a certain type of person to appreciate what Mayweather was doing later. A lot of people gave Mayweather a lot of flack, and I hear what you guys are saying, and I'm with you. I'm 100% with you guys, but I'm still in it. I'm one of those guys where it's like, get the dub, look good another time. You know, because you look at these times where he had dull fights, right? Devin Haney hasn't always given us exciting fights. He done had dull fights and then he give us a Regis Progress. And then he'll have a dull fight and he give us, you know, one of those Lomas, which people thought that he lost. You know, is it wrong to secure the win no matter what and look good another time? Or do you think that the era that we're in with Turkey Ali Sheik and the money that he's throwing at these guys and the way that everybody is so bloodthirsty now, that is, he has to come out here and throw it all caution to the wind?
No, you're taking it to the extreme, Trill. No one is saying he has to go out there and suddenly turn into like Marvin Hagler, but he just has to go back to how he used to fight, which is boxing, like Brett said, boxing behind the jab and picking your moments when to throw combinations. But at least you're having a fight, you know what I mean? Because you're standing there and you're jabbing. Whereas against Ramirez, he was just literally like circling, bro, like cycling, bro, like around the velodrome. It was like that. So
yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
but he was definitely talking about
winning is the most important thing. You are right in what you're saying, but you know you can't. There needs to be a much higher punch output than what we saw last time. That is for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. He can't have a stinker, but as far as going in there and being something that he is not, or being in there and taking the type of shots that he did against, because people was even criticizing him, and even he went back in an interview, said that was he took way too many shots. That's not how he was supposed to be fighting. Even in the Lomachenko fight, like Devin is a guy that looks at it like I'm talking about it, like trying not to get hit as much, but use his jab and be that refined boxer like how Mayweather was.
But we enjoy that. All fans can enjoy that performance. So yeah, if he does that,
that's
great. That's fine. But what he done against Ramirez, he can't do that, bro.
He can't do it again. He can't follow up with it.
Such an extreme Trill.
Yeah,
in the 45 years
can't
of
follow up with that.
box history, the third lowest punches ever in what, thousands of fights. Thousands.
Circumstantially, though, to not overanalyze this, circumstantially, Trill, you're right. The W was done with no hurt. He got no hurt. He shook that Ryan Garcia fight away so that he can step on. This fight, he comes in with more confidence because he's not off the back of that Ryan Garcia fight. Regardless of how we feel about that performance, he goes with that W, builds confidence, and I think he comes back a different fighter against Norman Jr. I do.
I hope he does. I really hope that he shows the best version of himself. That's what I hope.
Now, I really hope he does as well. But I was saying, if things get fiery, I think that he can run away with this victory, like, no pun intended, like how he did with the Ramirez fight. That's what I'm alluding to. Not saying that I want him to have this type of fight. I'm saying he gets in here with a guy who's been fighting at 147. This is Devin's first time at 147. He feels that heat. He feels that power. I feel that Devin will resort back to what we seen in New York City.
You might be 100% right, because he hasn't felt this power before. You know what I mean? Because Norman can bang, bro. You know, I understand. So, you know, like you said, if he feels the power and then just goes on the back foot, that could well likely happen. But I just think that it's okay boxing on the back foot and countering someone, but it needs to be a lot higher punch output here as one. That I do know, because
I hear you, GG. Like, you don't want no stinker.
I just think you're on this level now where, like, you need to, you know, like, I mean, look at what Turkey's saying. No Tom and Jerry. I don't want no Tom and Jerry. You know what I mean? He's even telling these guys, like, don't come in and stink it out, bro. I'm giving you P here. You know what I mean? So, you know, you have to at least be willing to have a fight. But there's nothing wrong with fighting defensive on the back foot. I want to just stress, I'm not criticizing that style of fighting, but I am saying that the Ramirez was extreme, Trill. It was to the absolute extreme, that was. You know, so that I think he can't do again, but he can box off the back foot and pick him off in the counter. That's fine. That's no problem. That is boxing.
It's crazy. It's crazy how many lines that Devin Haney gets. Hey, like, whenever the conversation opens up about Devin Haney, the people have got all different angles to come and talk about him. And at the end of the day, he's a young fighter. He got his ass handed to him in terrible circumstances. He come back. He ran away. He got the W. Let's give him a chance to come back to what he used to. Because when you look at the guy's resume, you can tell me that they were all shot or they were all on their decline. At the end of the day, he takes on challenges. He takes on challenges. He didn't need to take the Ramirez fight even. He could have had a touch-up. He could have had a real touch-up. He took on him, but he did go for a run. I think honestly, I really do think you're going to see him back to his best in this one.
Yeah,
I think so too. Bill's been quiet. Bill has been unbelievably quiet, bro. And that means they're cooking something up there, man. You know what I mean? So,
here's the thing with me. I felt like the reason why it seemed that, like I was saying this about Devin, is because I've been very critical of Devin. If you look back, back with my shows with the Boxing Bros, I've been heavily critical of Devin. I didn't like his behavior. I didn't like how he switched and went to his certain type of behavior, the street type of mentality. I didn't like the moves he was making. I've been very critical of Devin, to the point where it would seem to a lot of people that I didn't appreciate his boxing. Right? A lot of people was like, damn, you hate Devin. You know what I'm saying? But like, no, I didn't like certain antics. I called him out when they would jump the civilian at the carnival. I was the first one that was on him. You know what I'm saying? But on the other flip side, I have this uncanny ability, right? I can see both. I'm never fan for a fighter. I love the sport of boxing. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of any fighter. I love boxing more. You know what I'm saying? So I can be like, yeah, I like this guy, but I can see the things that he can work on, or I can see the things that this guy need to work on, but I can give him credit for these things, even if I don't, like him personally. You know what I'm saying? I can accept the things that they can do inside the ring, or the things that they cannot do inside the ring. And
You're mature. That's what it is. You're an adult. You're mature. You can talk about the sport without bringing your personal,
exactly.
bias into it.
Yeah, so when I see this, I see that Brian Norman Jr. is strong. He's powerful, and he's definitely got everything against Devin, except for one thing, and that's experience. And we've been watching these fights. I've been doing this show, Fight Night Chronicles, with Mr. Neutral, and the fights that we just been chronicling, like with Ali against George Foreman, and then George Foreman versus Michael Moore. It's just been an experience. And I feel like this is what Devin has over the young man Brian Norman. But I feel like we've been beating a dead horse, you know what I'm saying, talking about this way. But I'm glad that we was able to talk about this, and I'm glad I had this able to talk about this with some light-minded people who wouldn't be so offended or, get so personal about, even if we see things in a different way. The next fight, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yard. I'm going with David Benavidez, stoppage in the 10th. The boxing man, Brett, please talk to me. Who do you got?
I can't wait for this fight. I cannot wait for it. And because I'm a huge fan of how Yard conducts business.
Lions in the camp.
Because he ain't talking about Christmas cards, is he, G? Like, he's going out there and he's going to believe he's going to try and take his head off. And I feel like, I do, as much as it hurts me to say, Benavidez will get the late stoppage. I think he'll stop him late. But I've got a sneaky feeling that Benavidez is going to touch the canvas early. He's going to catch him cold and he's going to put him down. And he might have a scary moment in the fight. But I think Benavidez will conduct himself, get himself back together, get behind the jab and start letting that backhand go. And the referee will jump in at some point towards the later rounds. But I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, G. How do you feel about this fight with David Benavidez and my man Lions in the camp?
That's it, bro. I mean, if anyone knows me, I know Yard and Tunde personally, man. They're like I've known them for years and years and years, decade basically. So all the praise I just gave you about being able to be mature and not bring your personal thing into it. This is the one fighter that I haven't, because I know them, personally. It's just, I'm a bit compromised, I'd say, in my opinion, but I can't wait for it. Obviously, I'm so pleased with Anthony getting this chance. Anton as well, because he gets a lot of grief, man, from people, and I'm just so happy for them, man, because I love their story. Do you know what I mean? They're two bubs from the hood, no lottery funding, no like Olympic team, man. They just come out and showing that you can make something of your life, an example for our people, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really, really behind them and their story, and I just love the way that Anthony will just go for it. You understand? Like he'll take his chances. I think as a fighter, what you want to do at the end of your career is say, I fought him. I fought the best that I could possibly do. No matter what level that you're at, you can say, at my level, whether it's Commonwealth, whether it's European, whether it's world title level, I fought the best that I could possibly fight in my career. And, he's going to have fought Kovalev, Turbiev, and now Benavidez. Those are three top light heavyweights now of this era. So, props to him for taking a fight. I watched the Face Off earlier today. I don't know if you guys watched it. Yeah, it came out in it with Ade. Shout out Ade as well. Yeah, it came out earlier today on DAZN, so I watched that. And I just loved the whole thing because you know what it is, boys. With these two fighters, they show respect. They didn't do the whole trash talk thing because I think we all know what we're gonna get. Yeah. No one's gonna start running. No one's gonna get their bike out. They're going to both try and take each other's head off. It's a classic old-fashioned gun show, gun show. That's what we got here, and I love that. As much as I love the sweet science and boxing, I also love a fight, fam. You understand? And may the best man win. I can't wait, and I like what Benavidez is doing as well. Do you understand? Because he's saying, okay, if I can't get Bivol or Viterbi, I'm going to fight the next ones down. Who else wants to fight me?
Did you hear what he said, though? Did you hear what he said? He said, this man right here sitting is the only one that came to the table.
Yeah,
he's the
he
only
said
one.
They offered it to 5 people. Yeah. The only one, Tunde and Anthony Yard said, yeah, we'll take the fight straight away.
Take it.
Take it, bruv. Take it. Try. Yeah, you don't know
what
you're
in here for. This is what you're here. Yeah, this is what you're in this sport to do. You're here
exactly,
to fight.
True. Exactly, bruv.
And the reason why I picked David Benavidez is the same reason why I picked Devin Haney, and the reason why we was talking is because of the experience. Let me explain something about Yard. Yard is one of these guys, right, who came to the sport late, and he learned on the job. Not with a big amateur background and stuff like that. This guy, he learned on the job. So what you're seeing is a young man who came to this sport late, and he's learning on the job, and he's had impressive wins against some really, really big names, and he had some tough fights against some big names. Like he almost took out the Crusher, with having no experience, not like that at all. And then you got a young man as in David Benavidez, who's been boxing since he was a child and been in there in the rings against the likes with Triple G as a teen. He was in there sparring with Triple G, So definitely those things like that give him the upper hand in that fight. And being a little bit, I would say, the fresher, not having to have certain that Anthony Yard had to have. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this will be a good fight. Shout out to Anthony Yard for taking the fight. Like we all know, he's a dog. And he's a lion in the camp. Everybody knows this. But yeah, we're looking forward to that fight as well. So you got Anthony Yard in this fight. The boxing man, you gotta tell me who you got. David Benavidez or Anthony Yard?
Yeah, Benavidez late for me. But Trill, I'm gonna have to jump, mate, because of the AJ thing. Mr. Neutral's pulled me into something in 5 minutes. So I gotta jump. But I just wanna before I jump, first of all, I want to thank you, Trill. Like over the past few months, you and I have connected lots on Boxing Out. Really appreciate you, and I appreciate everything you're doing for the space as well. It's class to talk to like-minded people, respectful people that can have an opinion and it can be challenged and we don't have to fall out. But what I will say is the man right there, G-Chain, we've been one of my day ones on here, to be honest. And he's a loyal guy. He's an amazing family man, and he knows the sport of boxing inside and out. And and he never ever trolls a single person on here. Everyone's allowed their opinion. And that's what this space is about. It's about us getting on here, having our opinion, duking it out, taking the piss out of each other a little bit. But at the end of the day, we all love boxing. So salute to both of you. And
man, big up yourself, man.
And thank you for coming through. And I would just like to say that's why I was speeding through to get your prediction, because we're a little bit over the time. I only got an hour to kick it, but I definitely wanted to thank you, gentlemen. Please, the boxing man, let the people know where they can reach you at.
Yeah, I'm about just put in for some controversial AJ Tyson Fury banter, and you'll see my ugly mug there. But I can be found on Twitter, on X. And like I always say, all opinions are good as long as they're respectful.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming through, my brother. I definitely appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and we'll catch up soon. And we'll catch up
soon.
Take
care, boys.
Yes. Blessings. Yeah. G, let them know, man. Let them know where they can reach you at. But I got one last question, because we got we have this card, and like you were saying, this is going to be a big card, a big card, and you said it's going to be big for America. What other cards are you looking forward to before this year ends? Is there any fights that you're looking forward to?
I'm just thinking, are there any other big cards? I'm so focused on this one. I've been looking forward to this one for so long. So I just think the matchups are so interesting. Like, I think Haney and Norman are I think it's a great classic clash of styles. And two American fighters, and it gets the culture going. You understand? So I think that's really exciting fight. And I just think the other Benavidez is a classic gun show, which no boxing fan doesn't enjoy a gun show. Fam. You understand? It's a G check. That's what we call it, a G check. Let's stand in the middle of the ring and let's see who's standing. So no one doesn't enjoy that. And then Abdullah Mason going to be the youngest world champion in boxing, and Bam Rodriguez, what a fighter he is, and so it's just an incredible card. I don't think there's anything else I'm particularly, on my radar, but that's this this weekend, but that's why I come on today, because I thought let's chop it up, because it deserves to get the hype and the build up all week, man. You understand?
Yeah. It definitely does. So before we get out of here, I'm just going to tell you the card that I was thinking about is December 6th. I'm going to have to get you back on so I can get your predictions once again. We're going to have Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. On the undercard, they got Laura versus Jenna Beck. He's going to be fighting. Oshaki Foster's going to be fighting Stephen Fulton. You got Romance Jr. fighting Mosley Jr. You got the return of Frank Martin as well. It's going to be a stacked card. It's going to be definitely a stacked card. So definitely that's going to be one December 6th before the year closes out that I'm really excited to be seeing. So definitely got to have you on. I've been talking to Mr. Neutral, and we definitely got to have you on this sport. I was upset when I heard that your X space got hacked, my brother. But
I'm so glad I got it back, bro, honestly. Yeah. And luckily, I'm lucky that, you know what I always say, man, it costs nothing to be a nice person. And basically, the guy who helped me was from IBM, because I used to be the football manager of my son's team. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you've always been kind to my son, and he helped me. And that's the only reason why I got all my stuff back, man. So, you know what? The final message before I go is be a good person in life, and your vibe attracts your tribe, you understand? And people, what you do, what you put out there, you get back, you know? And so, because I was kind to his son when I was the football team manager, he said he's going to help me, man. And without him, I wouldn't have got all his stuff back. So, big up to him. His name's Chris. And thanks, Trill. Bless up, man. A great show,
and definitely please let the people know. And because we be talking about you, because we have a show, Fight Night Chronicles, and I was like, it's only right that we got to invite my man G Chain on here, because he's one of the guys that does his due diligence. He always is educating people on the sports in the past, present, and we talk about the future. So definitely go and check out my man G Chain on X, because you're definitely going to learn something. It's definitely been a pleasure chopping it up with you, my brother. Hopefully we get to
ditto.
You know what I'm saying? Let the people know. Any last words, my brother? Any last words?
Just all I'm saying is, you know, I always try to encourage this, that we need to encourage fighters to step up and take big fights. And as much as it's easy to troll the fighters who lose, you know, let's try to uplift them, man. You know what I mean? Because other fighters will see that and they'll be like, yeah, I'll take a big fight, because even though he lost, he's getting credit for putting it on the line, bro. That is what the sport is. That's the essence of the sport, man. Step up, test yourself, fight the best. You win some, you lose some. But, you know, we can admire that as fight fighters. We can admire someone who's brave and someone who's willing to put it on the line. That is what boxing is. So, yeah, enjoy Saturday night, everyone. And, blessed. Thanks very much, Trill. Peace, I'm out, yeah?
Thank you, bro. It was good having you on the show, man. Definitely shout out to my man G Chain, man. Yo, this was a dope show. I ain't even gonna hold you. We went over the time a little bit, but it's all good. It ain't nothing but love here. I want to tell all y'all, please, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you lock in to the iBoxing Hub, and you please like and subscribe. Thank you to everybody in the comment section that came through to say what's up. Shout out to everybody that's watching right now. Don't forget to tune into my show on Sundays with my man, the classy one, Mr. Neutral, for Fight Night Chronicles, is where we chronicle old fights from the past, and we give their fighters their flowers, you know, for all the excitement and joy that they done gave us and brought to our lives. I just want to let everybody know that, you know, the world premiere of my video for Savage featuring my son will be out tomorrow. You know, we're going to be going crazy with that, man. Once again, man, thank you, everybody, from the bottom of my heart. And we out of here, man. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. Yeah.
Feels good. Listen.
Get it, Rose.
This old man, he don't run. He play take that 100-round drum. Better load that click clack, don't get me in the zone. But one of you niggas won't be making it home. I'm about to spaz out, black out. Trill's about to crash out. Mossberg 990, listening to Smash Mouth. Driving, smoking big blunt. Shorty slurping big nuts. Left hand steering wheel, right hand on that big butt. I've been getting money lately, probably why these niggas hate me on the internet. Talking crazy like the shit gon' make me. I've been counting chips, I've been taking trips. Jesus, piece of masterpiece.